we cannot wait. Like if you're that eager to like get down, I'm not gonna let nobody finger me. I'm not gonna let nobody touch me. I'm not gonna let no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna touch myself. It just means that you lack self-control. You don't have any form of self-respect. You have no home training. If I ever do it, I'd probably leave the house the next day. I'll take a voluntary exit because I'll never be able to live with myself.
I was listening to Doyin and Tuma's conversation last night, and that was how I got into prayer mode. Guys, hey! I was scared for Doyin. I was worried for her. And my prayer points were, dear Lord, may her mouth not put her in trouble. May her assertiveness not put her in trouble. Because guys, it wasn't like she was lying about what she was saying. It wasn't like everything she was saying, was like there was a problem with it. No. It was about her perspective. It was about the way she was assertive about her perspective, guys. Soma was trying to be diplomatic about the truth, but she stuck to her guns, guys. I'm going to tell you all about it, all right? I mean, by now you must have seen or heard that she was actually talking about sex and the act of Bbnaija housemates having sex in Big Brother's house. Guys, we know that that is a very, very sensitive conversation to be had by people, not to talk of fellow Bbnaija housemates. Guys, I'm really excited about this one. So let's get into this video. We're going to talk about it in details, and it's not like we're going to judge, all right? But we're just going to look at the statements that Doyin made, because in that conversation, she actually, in a way, set herself up. Guys, she did. And if case is not taken, she has just literally opened the floors to be dragged this entire season if she goes against her own principles. So let's get into this video, have this conversation, and as usual, I'm looking forward to hearing from your own perspective. All right, so please go ahead and share in the comment section below. And greetings to all of you. You're especially welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory, and I am the girl with the T. Quick announcement. Today, this evening by 7 p.m. WAT, we will be having our YouTube live stream. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Do not miss out. There's a lot to talk about, all right? And if you're yet to officially subscribe to this channel, to joining this community, it's quite easy. Please go ahead and do exactly what you see on your screen. Don't forget to give this video a like, okay? Now, quickly, let's continue with this conversation. Doyin and Soma's conversation revolved around having sex in Big Brother's house. Now, in Doyin's opinion, she does not think it makes sense. She feels like people who go all out to do it probably do not have home training, because what is the reason that you would do such on national television? For her, she believes that it's important for people to have self-control, because if you are in Big Brother's house for just 2 months and you cannot control yourself, then it only means that if you get married and your husband travels, or maybe your spouse, could be your husband or your wife, so and your spouse travels, then it means that you could easily cheat on your spouse. For her, it is another level of disrespect to any of the housemates that has a relationship on the outside. It means that the person could just easily cheat. Now, Soma, on the other hand, was making a case for people that are likely to do so. For him, it could be the pressure of the house. It could be the fact that, oh, they're in a confined space and there's nothing really for people to do. And it just happens that sometimes people cannot control the urge, of such emotions that overwhelm them. And for Doyin, there's no excuse. For her, it's all about self-control. When you think about the home training that your family must have given you, then it's something that should speak in your mind when you think of engaging in such an act. And that was where she went further to talk about her own self, that for her, she can actually go ahead to kiss, but definitely not to the extent of engaging in intercourse with a fellow housemate. And she further added to that statement that if she ever did such, then she would probably take voluntary exit the very next day. Soma was telling her that if she goes to that extent of taking voluntary exit, then she would have lost out on both sides, you know, like lost out on her self-esteem and also lost out on still being in the competition to win the ultimate prize. For her, she would have to leave the house because she wouldn't be able to live with herself. For her, she would feel like all eyes are on her. People will be talking about her, people will be looking at her. Even though nobody will be talking, she would still feel like people are going to be talking. So for her, she would just have to carry her self-shame and leave the house. Now, she even went as far as saying that housemates that would likely indulge in that, they probably do not have self-respect. And any guy that would want to encourage a female housemate to do such do not necessarily respect that girl, because this is national television. Millions of people are watching. So what excuse would such a guy have to want to ridicule the girl, you know, by engaging her in such an act? And so the conversation went on and on and on. And guys, frankly speaking, I found it quite interesting because I don't think I've actually ever heard any housemate, you know, be this passionate about that topic of conversation. Yes, this is a conversation that most Big Brother Naija housemates actually shy away from on the show, because the truth is most of them are not really sure about themselves. Most of them are not really sure if they have that level of self-control, you know, to stay in Big Brother's house for over maybe 70 days or the amount of days that they have to stay in there. For Doyin, 70 days is a very, very short time to be sex-starved. Now, someone on the other hand will say, no, that 2 months is such a long time. So Doyin was like, well, inside the house, it's quite understandable, the pressure and all. But if you're in a relationship on the outside, or if you have self-respect, then you should think about it. You should think twice before allowing yourself to succumb under such pressure. But if you're outside the house and you cannot hold yourself, you know, from getting intimate for 2 months, then there's a problem. Then you need to evaluate yourself. Can you stay in a confined space with different individuals of the opposite gender for over 2 months without getting intimate with any of them? It's just a question to all of you. In other words, do you agree with Doyin's perspective or Suma's perspective? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I had mentioned before that whilst Doyin was speaking, I was enjoying the conversation, yes, but I was equally scared for her. Hence the prayers I was saying on her behalf, yeah. But aside that, I was sincerely worried for her because of ex-Bbnaija housemates that have obviously engaged in the act of sexual intercourse on the show. You know, the thing about these housemates, they all roll in a circle. They are probably not the best of friends, but most of them, they roll in the same circle. Most of them, they work with the same brands, and there's a kind of acquaintance that exists, you know, amongst all of them, and you don't just know the extent to which their relationship pans, right? So I was kind of worried that, oh my God, right now Doyin is definitely offending people out there, like a fellow Bbnaija housemates that must have done what she's talking about. She's definitely offending them. And the one person that was heavy on my mind was Daniela. I mean, guys, we remember the Daniela and Khalid situation, and we remember how often the act happened in the house, and that was only what the camera showed us. The camera did not show us if it happened many more times than that, or if it was just the number of times that we saw it happen on camera, right? And there's also the part where Doyin is friends with Allison, and Allison is also friends with Daniela, and we don't know if they are all best of friends or if Doyin is just friends with Allison. And guys, that was where my worry stemmed from, because I was really worried that, oh my God, could it be that everything Doyin is saying right now is offending Daniela? You know, guys, I was just genuinely worried. And I was just thinking that these people should not go and think that Doyin is actually firing stray bullets at them, because this is Doyin Davids, right? That's her name. This is Doyin. This is how she talks. Doyin is a very, very assertive individual. She has a mind of her own. She's very, very vocal about her beliefs, her ideologies. Doyin is very, very vocal about it. Yes, and sometimes there are certain things that she says that, you know, gets people offended. And last night's conversation was one of those conversations. But on the flip side, I felt like Doyin kind of set herself up for drags. Why? Because ever since the day of the launch show, last week Sunday, we've seen her moves with Kid Wire. these two people, they kind of play rough play a lot. They talk dirty a lot. Although she's currently upset with him for not picking her as a BFF when he won the head of house on Monday. But it doesn't take away the fact that Kidwire has already told her that he likes her, that there's something about her that he likes. And she is open, like she's open to whatever comes out of that declaration from Kidwire. And then remember, in that conversation, she had mentioned that she can actually kiss, but that is the only extent she can get to with that act of intimacy. She will never have sex in Big Brother's house. And she has set herself up by saying that if it ever happens, she would probably take voluntary exit. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think about all of that, because I just feel like now people are going to be keeping eyes on Doyin, because I'm sure that there are people out there that will be watching her closely now on the show to see if she is going to turn out to be the hypocrite, yeah, that will do the reverse of what she stands for, of her values, you know, or if she's going to stick to her guns. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What are your thoughts? As I asked before, do you think Doyin just literally spoke out of pocket, or do you think she was just being factual about it? Who do you stand with in that conversation? Do you stand with Doyin or Suma, that feels like it's okay for people to buckle on the pressure, you know, the pressure of Big Brother's house, the pressure of being in a confined space? Go ahead and share with me your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on another video soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.